What's up, friends? Welcome to my channel where we're doing music covers, original music, album reviews, song reviews, little social commentary here and there, whatever the day calls for. Today we are doing a full album review for the brand new Monuments album in Stasis. You'll have to forgive me, I'm eating some cheese sticks here. It's been kind of a busy day. I haven't really had a chance to eat, but I know it's going to be a long one, so before even listening to this album, I figured I'd do a little intro here. I am very familiar with their album, The Amanuensis. I liked it very much. They had a different vocalist on that one, Chris Barretto. If you saw my review for Cardinal Red, I said in that one that Chris Barretto was an amazing vocalist, had amazing vocal chops, but kind of fell into the issues that Periphery has with kind of like doing a little bit too much showboating, a little bit too much of putting too many lyrics into a lot of sections and just doing more than what a song calls for. And kind of cost it a little bit of memorability at times. That album had some very odd mixing choices, and mixed with the showboating and the mixing choices, it made some of what he was doing a little bit hard to make out. And I feel like those issues have kind of been ironed out a bit with this new vocalist they have, Andy Czak. At least that's what I heard on the song Cardinal Red, which is the only song I've heard from this album so far going into it. And I gave that song a 10 out of 10. I love, love, love what they did on that one. And just with that one song, anything that I felt was an issue with their older album was ironed out. The album they did with Chris Barretto in between the Amanuensis and this one didn't really do anything for me at all. In fact, it did so little for me that I don't even remember what the hell it's called, if I'm being honest. You know, the talent was there, obviously, but I just don't really feel like they captured anything too memorable on that one. Just kind of fell too into the cliche gent tropes, and it was just kind of another album in this genre to throw onto the heap. But I got high hopes for this album, and I know they've released at least two other singles from this before even going into this. I know they've released two other ones. I chose not to listen to those because I kind of wanted to take this whole thing in at once, and yeah, I'm gonna listen to it now. I'm gonna eat some tasty cheese sticks, and then we're gonna do a track by track review on the new Monuments album in Stasis. So we will be back. Whew, man, my brain is full. So many notes, so many parts, so much to talk about, man. And so much of Monuments doing what they do best, man, which is just taking all these parts and all these notes and all this complexity and putting it in the soundscape of a traditional song. Like, they do that so well, man, so well. Like, you're hearing a song that's like, it sounds like it's traditionally structured to somebody that listens to this kind of music a lot, but there's just so much going on, man. There's just so much going on. And I gotta say, in this day and age, at least since 2016 onward, we have kind of been thrown into a world where time is of the essence, man. Time is of the essence. People are overworked, underpaid, got so much shit we gotta do. Like, people in this day and age, man, we gotta hustle and grind all the time. So to expect us to listen to an album that is almost an hour or longer, you know, it's asking a lot in this day and age. Like, we're living on the go. And, you know, to listen to an album like this in succession, not only do you got to set aside some time to really breathe it all in, but it's got to be worth it. And is it worth it here? I think so. So I'm not going to beat around the bush or blab any longer. We're just going to get into these tracks. Let's do it. Number one, No One Will Teach You. This album starts off with a 5-minute long mid-tempo number. And one thing you'll realize about new vocalist Andy straight away is how much cleaner and heavier his screams are than the previous vocalist. There's like this effect that certain vocalists use on their voice. The guy from Lamb of God has always done it. The guy from Periphery does it. A lot of mainstream metal bands do it, where they just sound like they're in this. They're screaming through some kind of watered down effect. And I don't like it. I never did. I just don't like it. And Chris Barretto kind of had that watered down feel sometimes with his screams too. And that effect is not on Andy. His vocals are so much more raw. The production on his vocals are way more genuine, way more human. It just sounds great. And this song, as far as the cleans, he does a fantastic job of replicating the vibe of Chris. And this is something I said about Cardinal Red when I heard it, is that he did not change the aesthetic of the vocal. Like, it's almost like he's doing an impression of Chris Barretto and fucking nailing it. And it's sometimes maybe even doing it a little better, but I don't want to like offend super diehard fans of Chris. I mean, Chris is good, man. But I'm just saying that vibe was not changed here. This song is a bit longer than it needs to be, especially for an opener. And I can definitely hear like diehard fans of Meshuggah that feel like every gent band is just out to copycat them. I can hear them using something like this to make that argument where it's just like, we're just ripping off Meshuggah and adding poppy vocals. And this is something I disagree with. Big time. Big time. I do not think every gent band is taking cues from Meshuggah. I think Meshuggah is a band that, and this might be controversial, but they could be a lot better than they are because they have such an out-of-the-box approach to their music writing, and they have this vocalist that's been doing the same fucking thing for like 20 years, man. You know, I don't think that fans of Meshuggah should be shitting on all this new stuff the way they do, because, you know, it almost sounds like when a vocalist does all this stuff, has all these ranges, all these things they can do, it almost sounds like they're just not willing to get into something new because, you know, every single one of these newer bands, they might not all be better than Meshuggah, but their vocalists definitely are. Andy definitely is. This song, yeah, it's got some great parts, but I actually would consider this the lowest part of the album, the worst song of the album. But that's not to say that this one's really bad. It's just to say that the ones that are coming are a lot better. So, let's move on. Number 2. Lavos. I said 3 different ways. Please tell me one of them's right. I like this song a lot better. Apparently this song premiered in September of last year. I missed the boat on that. I didn't even know they were premiering songs that early from this album. The last one I heard was Animus with Andy, and that one didn't even end up on here. That's the last one I heard before Cardinal Red. But there's a breakdown in here where the drummer threw in a quick blast beat at the end of it, and it sounded great. It was a great addition. Anytime a band like this, a super polished gent band with some kind of poppier tendencies, throws in elements of extreme metal, it sounds so good. It's so welcome, you know? And I wish there was more of that in this song. There really isn't. But this one, as opposed to the opener, which seemed like more of a showcase of what Andy can do with some music behind it, I would say this one has more of the music being solid and having more standout moments from every band member. And like I said, making a standard song structure within all this craziness has always been this band's expertise, and that's what this one does. Number 3, Cardinal Red. You guys all know I heard this one already. It's a top track. The Veil of Maya vibes are strong on this one. Every single section is perfect. Great chorus, great screams, great cleans, awesome breakdown. Um, Top track for sure. Number 4, Opiate. What an incredible opening section. I found every section of this song enjoyable as well, and I was drawn into all the little nuances of each section. Like, there's definitely little things to listen for all through the parts. We get a good breakdown here, and I feel like this breakdown in this song is the first song where John Brown actually like slows down and just kind of like does something simplistic and headbanging, and it's great, man. The chorus is reminiscent of my favorite era of the band Tesseract, the Altered State era. It's a great song, and I'll definitely go back to this one. Number 5, Collapse. This is another banger. It sounds a bit like Opiate in the beginning, like the vibe of Opiate is just going to continue. But this one's more focused on heaviness, and I loved every second of this. Like I said before, I'm very familiar with the album The Amanuensis, and I really liked it. But so far, this album is heavier than that one for sure. Definitely more emphasis on heaviness. There's a great breakdown here, and a nice splash of deathcore in the second half that I kind of wish went on a little bit longer. Great song. The 1-2-3 punch of Cardinal Red, Opiate, and Collapse is making the album for me so far. Number 6, Arch Essence. My favorite song from this band is Origin of Escape. And while I still like that one a little bit better than this one sounds very much like an extension of that track with all of that track's qualities. Spencer from Periphery shows up here, and he does a great job as well. The end sections of the song have a great series of chugging sections that, paired with the drumming, is a bit of a mindfuck in all the best ways possible. And once again, you kind of like hear some of these purists saying, Meshuggah, or doing what Meshuggah's doing. I disagree. This is great on its own. This is a great track that definitely justifies its length. I took a break after listening to this one. Just kind of like wrap my head around everything I just took in. Not a single song on this album is under 4 minutes. So, I didn't want to get lost in, I didn't want anything to lose me. So I took a little break, came back, and now we're on number 7, Somnus. God damn, man. What a banger. Every second of this one is amazing. Top track. Might be my favorite track. Either Cardinal Red or this might be my favorite. Like, there's too many great moments in here to dissect them all. And once I'm done with this video, whatever the hell I do, if I'm here, I'll be doing it with this in the background. Great song. In addition to the other influence I've mentioned that I've heard in this album so far, sometimes in the vocals I hear, I can't remember the vocalist's name, but he's going to be featured in my Forgotten Album series very soon. It's a band called I Am Abomination. So look out for that. I hear that vocalist in some of these songs, especially this one. I love this one. So I'm not going to waste too much more time talking about the song. We still got 3 more to go. Video's getting long. So, number 8, False Providence. This is another single that came out before this album's release that I avoided. I waited on listening to it till I could hear the whole package. This album really hits its stride when you get to Cardinal Red, and from there to Somnus, it's just nothing but bangers. Compared to those, this one is kind of middle of the road and a little indistinguishable from its peers. It kind of just falls into just another gent song. I can't really consider this a top track, but I still like it better than the first 2 tracks. I'd say it's just kind of a middle of the road track compared to what we've heard, but still better than a lot of other bands doing this. So, yeah. Number 9, Makeshift Harmony. I would definitely consider this the most straightforward and pop metal song on the album. The video for this is pretty corny. Gent bands having that visual aesthetic of people doing weird movements that make them look like they don't have bones, and stretching the limits of bodily flexibility. It's just been kind of done to death, you know. Meshuggah did it, Tool did it, and everyone did it. Animals as leaders do it. Everyone does it. I'm just kind of tired of that aesthetic, but I'm not judging on the merits of the video. I'm here to talk about the song, and the song is good. It's definitely the album's most accessible number, with noteworthy moments from every band member and the album's catchiest chorus, possibly. And yeah, the next song is 8 minutes long, but after turning the album off, the chorus of this song, Makeshift Harmony, is still grinding in my head. It's a very catchy one. So the closer, number 10, not the Cinnamon Man, not the Sumerian, the Cimmerian. Do I know what that is? No, and I really don't care either, but this is the epic. Although I like the Amanuensis album, as I've said several times already, its closing epic kind of bored me a little bit. This one is almost double its length. Is this one better? I would definitely say so. I would rank this one alongside of False Providence in that it's a good one, but not really a standout. It's one of those songs where if you're listening to this album in full, definitely not going to skip it. There's some really cool parts in here. Lots of cool parts, but I wouldn't go right to it. If I was going to go right to a song on here, I would go to one of the album's top tracks. So, yeah. This is definitely a gazillion times better than this album's predecessor. Absolutely. Which, in the break, I did look up the title of that one. It's called the Phronesis, or just Phronesis. I don't know. Every song on this album is better than the songs on that album. They lost their vocalist, and they lost who was, at the time he was in the band, my favorite member of this band, Ollie Steele. They lost him too, and I was worried about how that would impact the quality of this. And, his songwriting is definitely missed, and his solo material is incredible. Definitely check it out if you haven't already. But John Brown did a great job. Everybody here did a great job. The notes and shit, it just doesn't stop, man. It just doesn't stop. There's just so much to take in. And, yeah, I'm going to rank, I would say, the top tracks on this album are Cardinal Red, Somnus, and Collapse. I would say very, very noteworthy songs are Arch Essence and Makeshift Harmony and Cimmerian. And I would say the lowest point of the album would be the first two tracks. No One Will Teach You and Lovos. And either of those are bad. I would just say they're the album's lowest point, and it takes a little bit for this album to get going, but it's worth the wait for it to get going. If you're not keen on this type of music, this one ain't going to be the one to sell you, but if you're a huge fan of this type of gent, this type of metalcore and technical metal and this band, you're going to love this album. I think they did a great job. I'm giving this thing an 8.5 out of 10. I would recommend it to any fan of modern metal. And Andy is a great addition to this band. So, if you like what you see here, please subscribe to the channel. If you have content here, I will subscribe to you as well. I'm all about supporting up-and-comers on here. And that's about all I got for today. Definitely give this album a listen. Thanks for watching.